Welcome, my friends, to Top 3 Bob. I'm Bob, helping you towards your goals of becoming healthy, wealthy, and wise. Today, the topic that I'm going to cover is, what is the book that Warren Buffett highly recommends? Well, there's actually two. There's one that's more of a financial book, and there's one that's not a financial book. But even though it's not, it will help you in business, which, by the way, you know, if you're trying to become wealthy, I highly advocate the fact that you may want to look into starting a business. It seems to be one of the best paths towards that goal. Okay, Warren Buffett, when he was younger, by the way, Warren Buffett, if you don't know who he is, he's one of the richest men in the world. In fact, today, just on the news, I heard that he was number 4. He's been number 1 at times. Bill Gates is back in number 1, in the number 1 slot. This was filmed. I filmed this in 2014, it's March. Well, anyway, when Warren Buffett was younger, he at times had great difficulty getting along with his peers, and he just didn't understand it. And he discovered the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And he actually conducted an experience, a real-life experiment to see if the book worked. He would try its methods, and he would see how people responded to him, and then he would go back to his old self and see how people responded to him. Well, by far, he found that people responded to him much more favorably when he followed the tenets of the book. I just realized, by the way, I don't even have my copy anymore. I do have a book by Dale Carnegie, How to Develop Self-Confidence and Influence People by Public Speaking, which is, by the way, a good book too. But my copy, I believe I borrowed it out, and of course it never came back. That's just generally what happens when you do that. This book, by the way, the book that I'm talking about, How to Win Friends and Influence People, was written in 1936, which is 78 years ago. On Amazon, it had 1,175 reviews and a 4.5 stars out of 5. So I'm not the only one, and Warren Buffett's not the only one that thinks this is a good book. The other thing is in Google Scholar, which I always like to cite, Google Scholar will indicate how many other articles have cited it as a book, as a reference. And it was cited by 1,200 or 1,206 other articles and publications. That's a lot. That's a high number. A lot of people think very highly of this book. The other thing, in 2004, I was doing some research for a paper, and I did a survey sampling of 220 members of the Sales and Marketing Executives International Incorporated. These are the sales executives. And I asked them, in the survey, basically, I was asking them who had a large influence on them in their lifetime. And they came up with a top 7 list, and I'm only going to give you 2 names. The second name on the list was Dale Carnegie. And I'm sure you're curious to know who the first name was. And that at the time was actually the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey. So that's another book you may want to look at. So How to Win Friends and Influence People has sold over 15 million copies. That might even be old. It might be many more than that. It remains very quite popular today. The only thing I'm going to say about it is I'm going to read one quote from it, and it kind of gives you a sense of the book. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. Dale Carnegie. Again, great book. Highly recommend you read it. I don't care what business in or what you do in lifetime. This will help you. Thanks. Roll the quotes.